Hi everyone, this is Jack from ESFIworld.com, and with me I have HasuObs, who was just recently defeated in the round of 8 by Hero. Welcome. First question for you. You are an undead player from Warcraft 3. How was the transition to StarCraft 2, and what skills were transferable, and what skills did you have a hard time adapting to in StarCraft 2?
Yeah, it was not that easy, to be honest. Like, especially the first 2 or 3 months, it felt like I was still playing Warcraft 3. Like, the way how I played StarCraft 2 was similar to Warcraft 3, like, way more micro-based instead of macro. Not making that much expansions and stuff like that, trying to save all my units. And obviously it's the same type of game. It's like strategic play, so I could get some skills out of it, but there was a lot of new stuff to learn, especially like the macro part. It's way different from Warcraft 3. Also that you can like trade units or waste units in general. You never did that in Warcraft 3, so there was a lot of stuff I had to learn.
So, an old Warcraft 3 pro once said that Protoss is more similar to Warcraft 3 than the other two races, and you can see top pros like Todd and Grubby and Naniwa who have transferred from EU Warcraft 3 picking Protoss. Do you agree with this statement?
I have no idea. It's funny that you just mentioned a lot of players who's picking Protoss out of the Warcraft 3 players, and for me, basically, I just picked Protoss because I thought it might be similar to Orc, and Orc was basically the strongest race in Warcraft 3 in the end, so I was hoping that Protoss might be the same. That was actually just my part of the choice, because in Brood War I played Zerg, but I never played it on a professional level or something, just for fun. And then I was undead in Warcraft 3, so like the evil race, and this time I thought I just not gonna pick Zerg, because they might be not the best race, so I was going for Protoss. And in terms of saving units and microing, I think that it's similar to Warcraft 3. Like, you can do a lot of micro with Protoss. There's like blink, force fields, and like units can walk up cliffs and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff you can do. Yeah, so it might be more similar than Terran or Zerg.
Okay. So you did have a lot of PvP this weekend. It was your only matchup that you played. What did you think your chances were to win, and is this one of your strongest matchups?
I think it's really hard to say if someone has a really strong PvP, because I feel that the matchup is quite fragile, and there's a lot of like mind games and gamble going on, especially if you know your opponent kind of well, then you try to trick him, because in PvP there's a lot of stuff you can get advantage of just because of the build order. So against Huck, I knew I can do it because yeah, he was recently losing to Titan, Elfitaya, and Cyplo in PvP, like on the DreamHack and the Asus tournament. So I knew that he has problems in PvP, and I was watching his stream for quite a while, like analyzing his play. So yeah, I knew I could beat Huck, but I knew it's gonna be tough. And for Hero, I feel that he's the best Protoss right now. Like, there's no one even close. I think maybe MC, but I think that Hero is better right now. So I knew it's going to be extremely tough. And then, like, he was analyzing my replays when he knew that he's going to play against me, and he did some really tricky stuff in the games as well. And overall, he just played better. So I was not sad after the games, because I felt I played at least okay, maybe even good. But Hero was just better.
So a lot of American fans know you as the guy who took out Huck in the TSL 3. As someone who had taken him out as an underdog before, how did this help your mentality going into the NASL Grand Finals?
Yeah, I think playing against Huck, for me, for example, I think that my mindset is better against him than his is against mine, because yeah, he's struggling with European Protoss. I don't know why, but like, he has always problems against them, and he lost to me against the TSL, even though in the TSL it was a little bit cheesy. Like, the third game was with an in-base pylon, which would not happen again around these days, I guess. And so yeah, my mindset was quite good, even though PvP, as I said, is fragile. So I think he was the favorite, but maybe just with like 55% or something.
Were there specific players that you were playing with to get prepared for your match with him?
No, just in general, I played a lot of ladder, actually. Like, I usually don't play that much ladder, but I feel that for PvP, practicing does not help, or maybe it could help a lot, but when I practiced, there was like one day I was winning 10 games in a row, and then I took a break, and on the other day I was losing like 010 with kind of similar builds. So I felt that there is so much stuff could happen. I cannot really I cannot really have any influence on, like, just because of the build order sometimes. So I felt like playing ladder could help a lot, because there's a lot of stuff going on with cheeses and tricky builds. So maybe I could even steal some of them. And yeah, that was basically most of my practice.
So upgrades actually played a really huge role in your series against Huck. Going into the last match, into the final engagement, you had a 3-1 upgrade advantage over him. Is that something you normally do, or is it something you attribute to the new patch?
No, it's definitely a tribute to the new patch. And also, like 2 weeks ago, I was in England at the IPL qualifier. I played against Grubby. And Grubby was using this double forge style in PvP, which I didn't see before. Usually I only got one forge for the attack upgrade, because I felt that makes the most, the best sense. But right now, since the upgrades are cheaper, I think it's okay to get 2 forges if you have the income, and that's what I did. And Huck was skipping the forge like totally. He was just at 1-0 in the end, I think. And I guess that's maybe a reason, or maybe a problem, that he has not that much experience in this Colossi Wars. Because in Korea, usually they try to end the game at just 2 bases. That's what he tried at the first 4 games. And on dual side, it was just straight up standard play. And yeah, he didn't get the upgrades, and they are just crucial. If you have the same army and someone has a like 3-1 against 0-1, then it's obviously the guy with the better upgrades is going to win.
So also in Game 3, you had a probe in Huck's Huck's base that he didn't scout. How do you, when you're in a game, maintain composure when you have the chance to have a quick end to a game, but decide to go longer?
Yeah, when this happened, I don't know. I was like thinking about my TSL game against him, because it was the same situation, and I was hoping that he is going for either 1-gate Council or 1-gate Robo. So yeah, he would die straight away to any kind of warp in I do. So when I made this pile-in, I already felt I would win, because I didn't expect him to do early pressure as well. So when I made the pile-in, I went out my base, trying to like put a little bit of pressure in the front, so he will send all his units to the front and then warp in the back. But unfortunately, Huck went for a 3-gate pressure, I think, and he had a pile-in close to my natural, and his warp-in was a little bit quicker than mine. So he was in my base before I could really do damage to his economy. And then it got a little bit hectic, and I warped in his sentry, couldn't force field my ramp, and then everything just went wrong. And even though I had a pile-in in his base, it was not enough damage I could do.
So after you beat Huck, what was your mindset going into your matches against Hero?
Well, I was the underdog, and I think that PvP usually favors the weaker player, because as I said, there's a lot of stuff that can happen, and he cannot really influence that. But Hero seemed to be very well prepared. Like I saw that he was watching a lot of VODs and replays of mine, and yeah, he mixed his play quite a lot. He was playing Stargate one game, and on Krivas he did like some kind of fake 4-gate, and then he just made a Nexus. And the other game he played this Warp Prism 4-gate all in. And yeah, so he was mixing up his play quite a lot compared to what I saw before, because usually, like the games I saw, Hero was playing, I think in 80% of the games he was playing robotics with Blink, so like a very map controlled style, and then he's getting his expand and trying to win from there. So yeah, I was surprised.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, Hero does like to do more unconventional play, like his fake 4-gate into fast expand that he used on you. Is something like an unconventional tactic something that usually messes with you when you're in game?
I think it messes with everyone, because when you play a million games and you met everything or saw everything, then you're going to react most of the times in the correct way. But when you see something completely new, it's really hard to adapt, because you only have some seconds. Like StarCraft 2 is so fast, so like if you miss the force field for just 1 second, then the unit's gonna stream in. Something like that could happen. So it's really hard to adapt if you only have that small time window. And so I think everyone has problems with that, unless you somehow got the right build order to counter his new style.
How do you remain calm under pressure while playing?
Well, I'm in the esport business for a long time, so usually I'm not that nervous anymore. I have to say that I was nervous against Huck when it was, like, actually the whole series. I don't know why, but especially when we were tied 2-2, And in the last map, he did some kind of early gate pressure, and he came into my main base. Yeah, that was really tense, but I managed to defend it. And afterwards, I felt really confident. I don't know why, but I felt like, okay, after this aggression, he might be behind. And yeah, I just try to focus on my game style, not thinking about too much else. And I think that's the way how it should be.
Okay. So you're one of the few returning players in the NASL Grand Finals. Last season, you lost to Moon in the round of 16. As a foreign player, what was your reaction to the Korean teams dropping out of the league?
First of all, I didn't even read about that, to be honest. And when I read it, I was like, well, that's good for the foreigners, so we have more chances to win. And then I tried to find out what was the reason, and I think they wanted like more travel expenses or something like that, and there was a little bit of drama. And since I don't like too much drama, I was like, okay, just if they want to leave, they should leave, but not like doing that kind of story. And since there are still, I think, 4 or 5 Koreans in the league, Rain, Puma, Hero, and I think I missed one of them. So I think the league is still very, very high level, to be honest, even though some of the Koreans dropped out. So I don't think it's a really huge deal.
Okay, so you don't have too much experience in U.S. tournaments. You did make an appearance at MLG Orlando where you lost to Sase and then got dropped out of the losers bracket by White Raw. Would you plan on coming to the U.S. more in the next couple of years?
Well, I did like the MLG event, but like the MLG system is really hard to play if you are not in the pool play, because the open bracket, there are more and more Koreans coming, and even if there are no Koreans, you have to play so many rounds till you make it through the pool play, while those guys who are in the pool play, they have to play, I think, 5 matches. So yeah, it's way more exhausting for the guys who are in the bracket. And then there's the jet lag going on. It's quite expensive from Germany to the States, and so yeah, if the MLG changes the system for the next season, I think that the mouse players would go more often. And besides that, I think there are not that many tournaments where I could go. The IPL is there. I tried to qualify it, but I failed. But I think there are going to be more chances, and I definitely going to try to do that.
Okay, so you do a lot of online tournaments. Most European players do. What do you like about the online versus the offline format, and vice versa?
Well, I do not play the weekly cups because I feel in some cases that's a huge time waste. But I try to play the bigger online tournaments where there's more money on stake than just like $100 or 100 euros. So I definitely prefer offline tournaments, to be honest. But usually the way is like you qualify online and then you go to the offline event. So it goes like you have to play both. And yeah, I prefer the offline events, but playing online is okay as well. I mean, you're going to sit at home, so you're very comfortable. You know the situation, you know your table, your chair. Like the conditions are perfect. So some players really prefer to play at home because it's the perfect conditions, but I think really good players should be able to play offline as well at the same level as they do online.
And what's your training regime like at home?
Again?
Or your training regiment?
Like if I have a schedule or something?
Yeah, like just how you train and how you prepare for tournaments and just day-to-day training as a StarCraft 2 player.
Well, I do like to play more custom games than ladder usually if I prepare for tournaments. So I usually try to find someone and then I play around 10 games. Then I try to analyze my mistakes and what was good, what was bad. And besides that, I play a little bit of ladder. Like lately, I was playing more ladder because I feel that I'm missing some kind of stuff. So like some cheesy builds and sneaky stuff. So I try to play a little bit more ladder. And obviously, I think it helps a lot if you analyze your opponents. If you know who you're gonna face, then it's worth it to watch the replays, VODs, maybe even the stream if he streams, because you're gonna learn a lot. And yeah, that's what I do.
Do you stream at all?
Nope.
Ever plan to?
I was thinking about it lately, and I will maybe do it in the next year, but yeah, I'm not sure yet. Because I feel you give away a lot of information when you stream a lot, even though it's just ladder. As I said, esport is a lot of routine, so maybe you don't play 100% serious, but you're going to do stuff which you're going to do in the tournament the same way. And yeah, that can help your opponents, obviously.
So you've been on mouse sports since 2004 with Warcraft 3 and then transitioned into StarCraft 2. Was it a natural team transition switching over into StarCraft 2?
Yes, because in Warcraft 3 there were less and less tournaments and less like audience in general. So when StarCraft 2 came out, there was like no question about the team gonna change to StarCraft 2, yeah.
Okay. What's your relationship with your teammates as well as your team?
Well, I'm somehow married to mouse, I think, because I'm there for, I think, 6 or 7 years even. And with my teammates, like, they were all Brood War players, so they knew each other before, and I was the only guy from Warcraft 3. So, like, the first couple of months, we didn't spoke that much, but since there are a lot of offline tournaments, we met each other very often, and since then, they are all very cool guys, and we're having a lot of fun, and the team spirit is very, very good in mouse. So yeah, I really enjoy being part of the team, and I think the other guys do as well.
So a lot of teams in North America are pairing up with Korean houses. Always talk about big plans to Korea for a lot of players. Do you think you're headed that direction?
Probably not, because there are so many tournaments in Europe and the States, and even in Germany that if I would play Code A, for example, it's such a hard tournament, and the chances that I would make it far are not that high. So I would not get any kind of money there. And in ways of practice, I think Korea would be very good. So maybe I'm gonna go for like 2 or 3 months, but there's nothing planned yet, and I think it would help me. But at the same time, you're gonna miss so many tournaments, and you're gonna miss so many chances to prove yourself somewhere. So yeah, I didn't plan anything, but I like the idea, to be honest.
Do you think as a foreign player you can keep up with the skill set of Korean players while training outside of Korea?
I think there's Idra, Torzane. I'm pretty sure I'm missing some of them, but I think there are some foreigners who can keep Stefano, obviously. There are some foreigners who can keep up with Korean players, even though they are not in Korea. And I think there is a skill gap between like the very best Koreans, but there are a lot of like very good Koreans who can still be beat by the foreign players. But yeah.
So you actually or work with a German podcast. I'm not going to try to pronounce the name. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
We actually I think it's kind of similar to State of the Game, even though I never watched it, so I'm not sure. Maybe I'm telling completely bullshit. But we try to talk about like tournaments and teams and stuff is going on in the scene. And it was actually the idea of MTW Reen, which is the German Protoss player. He was just asking, hey guys, what do you think about us talking about games and stuff? And since I know Soccer, Dark Force, and Delphi were very well, so like there was no question about it. I do like those guys, and we're always having a lot of fun doing this podcast, and so yeah, that's what we're doing. And we lately we got webcams as well, so we're gonna try to make it a little bit more professional. And yeah, we're gonna do it like I think once, like every month, at least one episode. We try to do that, but sometimes it's really hard because we're all gonna travel a lot to tournaments, especially me and Soccer. Dark Force not that much, and Delphi lately is going to more tournaments. So yeah, it's really hard to find where everyone has time. So.
Where can people find your podcast?
Well, it's only in German, so it's sc2pro.de. And yeah, as I said, it's only in German, so I don't think that most of you will understand that.
And I know you've done some work with ESL. What's your relationship with them?
I haven't really worked for the ESL. I mean, I did some commentary for them, but I don't have a contract or anything with the ESL. I've been playing in the ESL EPS, which is the German league, for ages, I think since I'm 16. And I was playing a lot of WC3L, which was a very, very big team league back then in Warcraft 3, hosted by the ESL. Yeah, so I know these guys for a long time. I live in Cologne, and their headquarters in Cologne, so I do know most of them. And yeah, I'm just been around with the ESL for a long time, but we don't work together or something like that.
As someone who's been around esports for a long time, there's been a lot of debate lately in the North American scene about, players going to be casters and casters going to be players. Is casting a direction, or even content production in general, a direction you'd want to take your career after pro gaming, as someone who's been within the scene for so long?
Yeah, I was thinking about that, And actually, some people were even asking me, and a lot of, like, when I did the commentary for the ESL, a lot of people did like it. But right now, I'm feeling a lot of joy as a player. Like like I have so much fun traveling around with all these players and playing the tournaments, and I really like this competitive scene. I really like to face each other in tournaments and play against each other. So right now, I'm gonna stay playing StarCraft 2 instead of commentary.
Okay, so with 2011 coming to a close, what are your plans for 2012?
Yeah, as I said, maybe I'm gonna start streaming. I'm not sure yet, but and besides that, I want to do better in the German league, because last season I dropped out in the play downs even. So sad. And besides that, I think IEM and NASL was quite good for me, the last 2 events. I'm gonna try to qualify for the IEM Grand Finals, which will be in Hanover. And then, yeah, same for the IPL. I would really like to go there.
So thank you so much for sitting down with me. Do you have any final comments or shout-outs that you'd like to give?
Yeah, thanks to my team, my sponsors, all the partners of Mouse Sports, all the fans who are supporting us, and yeah, thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you so much.